Welcome to Warriors Weekly, presented by Esurance, and happy holidays to all. This week's show will go behind the scenes with the Warriors during the season of giving. We also catch up with Andres Biedrich at his house after a recent practice for part 2 in our Warrior Profile segment. Now for a look at some of the recent action in this week's games, here's Warriors Rewind.
Stop 4 on the Warrior road trip at the Q in Cleveland, Ohio, as the Warriors take on LeBron James with only 7 healthy bodies, and all 7 Warriors would score in double figures. Newcomer Vladimir Radmanovic would hit a couple shots, finish with 11 points and 5 rebounds, and Monte Ellis with a game-high 23 for the Warriors, helping out Corey Maggetti's 19 and Anthony Randolph's 13. At the end of one, the Warriors would be down 5, scrapping and playing with one of the best teams in the East, with 7 guys giving everything they had. In fact, the Warriors would out-rebound Cleveland and have an edge in second-chance points. But LeBron James with 31 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds, true to the King James image, 11 of 19 shooting the ball, and LeBron just too much for the Warriors. At halftime, an 11-point game, and yet the Warriors would claw to within single digits repeatedly in the third quarter. Heading into the fourth, still down 11, the Warriors would come all the way back to make it a 1-point game on an Anthony Morrow 3. Steph Curry would have 14 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds, and the Warriors took the Cavs down the stretch. But in the end, a LeBron steal, a LeBron assist on a dunk, a LeBron dunk, a LeBron jump shot, and it was too much Cleveland Cavaliers, 114-108. They hold off the Warriors, a game effort, maybe one of the best road performances of the year, but the Cavs too much, 114-108 the final, Cleveland with the win. The Warriors would finish off a 5-game, 11-day road trip after the back-to-back against Cleveland in the Boston Garden to take on the veteran Celtics squad led by Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Kendrick Perkins, Ray Allen, and Rajon Rondo. But they would meet a feisty Warriors squad down a few bodies, but with Raja Bell kicking in for his first minutes, asking Don Nelson if he could play, and would play well with 23 minutes and 11 points. But the Warriors in the first quarter, hanging with Boston, down only 4, behind Corey Maggetti's 23 points, as Maggetti shot 60% on the entire 5-game road trip. Monte Ellis would play 40 minutes and go for 18, and the Warriors down only 1 at the half, despite the good passing and shooting of Garnett and Paul Pierce, as all 5 Celtic starters would be in double figures. In the third quarter, the Celtics experience on display. They would force turnover after turnover on the Warriors, limit their field goal percentage. Boston outscoring Golden State 31-19 in the third, as Rajon Rondo, 18 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, took control of the ball game. In the fourth, the Warriors would trade buckets with Boston, being outscored by only a single point. But the third quarter gave the C's enough of the breathing room, and they would win at 109-95. Boston shooting 53% from the field. Warriors ending the road trip with good performances, beating New York. Good play in a 4-point loss to Milwaukee, lose by 6 to Cleveland, and not enough gas in the tank to hold off the Celtics at the end. 109-95 the final, the road trip over as the Warriors headed home to take on Portland. 18,630 at Oracle for a 1-game homestand against the Blazers, and they were treated to Monte Ellis with a dominant performance on both ends of the floor. Ellis would play all 48 minutes, 34 points, 8 assists, a career-high 6 steals, a couple rebounds, but most importantly, holding All-Star Brandon Roy to 6 of 17 shooting and only 17 points. The Blazers would put up more points in the first quarter than any opponent against the Warriors this year, with 37, primarily from the foul line. But the Warriors in the second quarter would force turnover after turnover. Anthony Morrow with 23 points, Anthony Randolph with 15, including an emphatic dunk off the break. But it was Ellis and Stephen Curry, each with 8 assists, that kept the offense rolling. In the second half, more Warrior defense, limiting Portland to 23 points in the third, 19 in the fourth, and the Warriors would win this one going away. The debut out of the D-League of Chris Hunter out of Michigan, 14 minutes, hit both his shots, grabbed 3 rebounds, and also guarded Greg Oden. The Warriors win it 108-94, the most complete and impressive win of the season. The 1-game homestand successful as they take on the Blazers and beat them by 14.
Coming up next on Warriors Weekly, we meet Natalie of the Warrior Girls, and it's the season of giving time with the Golden State Warriors.